Well, a series split wasn't what the Rangers wanted, but in this series against the Angels, it looks like this offense might actually be back. Is it too late?
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank y'all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. On today's show, we've got a jam-packed show with a lot to talk about this offense possibly being back, the pitching staff starting to falter, a little bit of a look ahead at this weekend series in Houston, some injury updates, and a look at the 2025 MLB Draft. Before we get into all that, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, last night, the Rangers offense absolutely obliterated the Angels pitching staff yet again, scoring 9 runs in the first 3 innings, adding on a couple for good measure in the 8th, and winning 11-4 to take 2 out of 4 games against the Angels. And this series, the Rangers offense looked very back. Heck, for the month of July, heck, even for the last 15 games, this offense has looked back. In the last 15 games, the Rangers have scored the 3rd most runs in all of baseball, but they have a losing record in that span. The Rangers have scored so many runs in the month of July. They have a plus 28 run differential in 9 games in July. They're 5-4 in that span. But that does not take away from what this offense did last night, with so many quality plate appearances with runners in scoring position, and a 3rd inning where they scored not only 7 runs, but all 7 runs coming with 2 outs in the inning. Once the Angels thought they were finally getting off the hook, they were just 1 pitch away, 1 good pitch away, 1 good defensive play away, and the Rangers kept on adding on and adding on and adding on and adding on and adding on. So many more runs, 7 for 13 with runners in scoring position on the day, with most of those being just singles, just blooping a single here and there, blooping a single, working a walk, doing whatever they needed to get to the pitcher, to score runs, to put together quality plate appearance after quality plate appearance with runners in scoring position. That's what they did. They didn't even need to run wild on the base pass in this one like they had all series long. They just needed to just drop in those hits, go station to station, or go first to third, and just keep on adding on runs. This team has scored a lot of runs in this series, including double digits twice. They scored 5 or more runs in every single game in this series. They scored 13 runs earlier this week. They scored 8 runs in a game that they lost. They scored 5 runs in a game that they lost. Those all should be good enough for this team to be winning. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth with this team seemingly finally figuring out a little bit of offense and just everybody pulling together a 4-hit day for Marcus Semien. I mean, you look overall at these numbers for most of these hitters, and they look pretty confident. I mean, Evan Carter is a 119 OPS plus. I mean, Marcus Semien, after a horrible first 2 months, in the last month and a half, has already almost gotten his OPS plus back to league average. He's at 98, so just 2 points shy of league average when, 30, 45 days ago, he was at, I don't know, a 45 or 50 OPS plus. He has been so darn good for the last couple of months that, his WAR is all the way up to 2.5 at this point in the season. The Rangers have a lot of 2.5 plus WAR position players, including Corey Seager, who is now past Jacob deGrom and Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers B WAR leader at 3.2. His OPS is all the way up to 847, where when he came off the IL, there was a point in that struggle where he was at around a 700 OPS. And in the last week and a half, 2 weeks for Corey Seager, he has just absolutely obliterated baseball's 13 home runs. He is already up to second on this team, probably going to surpass Wyatt Langford here after the All-Star break, or maybe even this weekend with a bunch of home runs against Houston. Maybe they could both hit, 4 home runs each, and they're still, neck and neck. I'd love that, to see that from them this weekend against Houston. Just all the home runs, all the runs, just obliterate those stinking Houston Astros. But this offense has just been looking significantly better. And that is a hugely great sign, because as good as this pitching staff has been and as good as this defense has been, I don't think the defense is going to take any kind of steps back. I don't see that happening. These are just a lot of good defenders, and a defense doesn't slump. And you look all over the diamond, and even in the outfield, I mean, this is a great defensive team. I mean, Jonah Heim and Kyle Higashioka back there behind the dish, those are two incredible defenders. You look all the way around the infield, you have Josh Smith as your everyday third baseman at this point. He is a fantastic defender. Corey Seager and Marcus Semien at the middle, both of them are excellent defenders. Marcus Semien has been one of the best infield defenders in baseball for the last, 4 years, basically since he's gotten to Texas. Even the year before, when he made that switch to second base, he has been one of the best infield defenders. Corey Seager is having not just an outstanding year offensively, but defensively, he's been great. Jake Berger has been really darn good out there at first base. And you look all over the outfield, and the Rangers have Gold Glovers everywhere. Wyatt Langford has been exceptional defensively in left field. Evan Carter has been exceptional defensively in center field. And Adolis Garcia is having maybe the best defensive season he's ever had. And his bat is starting to come along too. I mean, I don't know why Zach Neto was running there. Or maybe it was Taylor Ward. I think it was Zach Neto was running on him in that second inning. I mean, have you not learned after 5 years of Adolis Garcia being an everyday big league regular that the dude has an absolute weapon of mass destruction for a right arm? Don't run on this man, or just actually do. Please continue to run on this man. Give the Rangers free outs, because you are not going to score. I mean, that throw that he made to home plate to gun the runner down, he was out by 4 or 5 steps. I mean, Jonah Heim caught it on the first base side of the dish, moves over to the third base side, stands there, maybe could brew a cup of tea, and then tags the runner out. I mean, this defense is just exceptional. And while the pitching staff has been absolutely exceptional, I mean, exponentially better than anybody could have possibly expected, I think we all know that there's a little bit of regression coming there. I mean, Jacob deGrom can keep this up for an entire season. We've seen him do it. He is just this darn good. Patrick Corbin is coming back down to earth in the last month and a half. Still very good. Still incredibly better than what anyone expected in their wildest dreams. I mean, he's made 17 starts. He's thrown 93 innings with a 4.15 ERA, a little bit below league average in terms of the ERA plus, but he's munching them innings with Cody Bradford done for the entire season. John Gray is not back until, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. We've had some significant injuries to Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, both of them missing months. Tyler Mahle, who was incredible to start this season, he's out until August 16th, I believe, at the earliest is his return date. And he's been munching them innings and been, respectable. This bullpen has been, outside of Luke Jackson, and even with Luke Jackson at times, it's been mostly really darn good. It's been worked a lot because this offense hasn't been able to score all that much. It's forced them to throw a lot of innings and a lot of high leverage innings, both the starters and the relievers. But I think that the rest of this, pitching staff, it's going to come back down to earth a little bit. We've seen it do that. But if this offense can get to, I don't know, if they can sustain what they've done the last 15 days, which seems like a lot, or at least come anywhere close to it down the stretch, even with some regression from this pitching staff, I think this team might be actually poised for the first time to make me believe that they're going to do something like go on a run. We're talking about those reinforcements that could come back and supplement this pitching staff, a little bit of look ahead at this series against Houston, and look ahead at the 2025 MLB Draft. All that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Shout out to the Everydayers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On Monday's show, I'll be back talking about this weekend series against those stinking Houston Astros. Maybe a series sweep. The Rangers can send the Houston Astros into the All-Star break on an L6 and head into the All-Star break with a winning record. Either way, I'll be talking about all that and just a little bit look back at this first half on Monday. Now, this offense has been banging as of late. The Rangers have not been winning because of some of the regression from some of these just completely overworked pitchers. I mean, this was not the best day for Corbett. He looked really darn good for the first 3 innings. He looked pretty darn good for the 4th inning. He finishes with a line of 5 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, though 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, a homer, and 2 runs, both of which were earned. But he only finishes with 5 innings, and I'm a little surprised that the Rangers didn't let him go a little bit more. The only reason for that is that he started getting hit incredibly hard once it turned to that 5th inning. Started allowing a lot of base runners, and the Rangers had to go to their pen for 4 innings in a game that they were winning 9-0 after 3. That's not ideal. That's a few more innings than you would like to throw any of your relievers, but at least the Rangers didn't have to go to any leverage relievers. Jacob Latz comes in, he pitches 3 1/3 innings. He gets 6 strikeouts in his 3 1/3 innings of work. Does get hit a little bit early on, does give up a run in his first inning of work, but goes all the way to that 9th inning. The Raiders bring in Dane Dunning to get the final 2 outs. He faces 3 hitters because he gives up a massive bomb to Zach Neto, but still a very good day overall. Now, this Rangers pitching staff has been taxed heavily. I don't know if Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker are going to stick in this rotation down the stretch. What exactly the rotation is going to look like down the stretch, I'm not entirely sure. We still got basically a month until Tyler Mahle comes back. But speaking of Tyler Mahle, the Rangers got some good updates on a lot of their injured players. They have so many of them, it feels like. Tyler Mahle will start throwing again next week. We're still quite a ways away from figuring out exactly when he is going to return. He is not eligible to return off the 60-day IL until mid-August. He has been on that since June 10th, so we are a little bit more than a month removed. He has gone more than a month without throwing. That's not ideal. And in his last couple of starts, he was looking like he was fading a little bit. I mean, so far on the season, 14 starts, 77 innings, and a 2.34 ERA. That's really darn good. That is more than I think the Rangers expected to get out of a 2-war season if the season ended today. But the Rangers need him back. They need him to bolster this rotation. And if this Rangers team gets to a postseason series, I really do think if Mahle is looking anywhere near what he looked like in the first month and a half of this season, then he is going to be the Rangers' number 3 starter in a postseason series. And if you have a top 3 in your rotation of Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, who should be an all-star, but is not going to be asked to be a replacement because he's pitching on Sunday in the final game before the all-star weekend, and you have Tyler Mahle as your number 3, and whatever you do with your number 4 spot in your rotation, I mean, remember where the Rangers were with their 3 spot in the rotation heading into that postseason in 2023. Game 3 was, I don't know, kind of Andrew Heaney, Dane Dunning combo. That was the first time the Rangers really had to go to a 3rd starter. That was in game 1 of that ALDS series against the Baltimore Orioles. And those two, bravo to them, they did magnificently. But throughout that entire postseason run, the Rangers basically had just 2 starting pitchers. It was just Jordan Montgomery and Nathan Eovaldi. You replace Jordan Montgomery with Jacob freaking deGrom, and you replace the husk of Max Scherzer that was pitching in game threes down the stretch with the Rangers. You've replaced that with Tyler Mahle. And then in game four, the Rangers had, well, it became Andrew Heaney, who did a great job in that World Series run of just doing what the Rangers needed. He was fine. He wasn't great. He wasn't even quite, he was right on that fringe of like good enough to be a playoff caliber starter. But you throw out there either Jack Leiter or Kumar Rocker as your 4 starter. I don't think the Rangers would start Patrick Corbin in a postseason game. I don't see a scenario where that happens. I think ideally, if Cody Bradford were back, he would probably be a game 4 starter, or maybe you go with a combination of Leiter, Rocker, and Bradford, because they would be so many different looks. And one of those guys is going to your pen. The Rangers also have a few more guys who will be helping out this pen. I mean, Luke Jackson, I think, is the odd man out if the Rangers do end up getting more reinforcements in this pen. He's pitched okay, not great. He did an okay job for the first week or so as the Rangers closer, or the first month or so as the Rangers closer, but he lost that job. And even when he's pitching in high leverage situations now, it's not been particularly great. I'm not trying to pile on, but he has just been, you look just in terms of results. And Sean Armstrong has been really darn good. Robert Garcia, he's not going anywhere. Jacob Latz in this kind of hybrid role has been fantastic. But there are guys who are coming who will supplement either this rotation or this bullpen and will move one of those guys out. I don't think that down the stretch, the Rangers will just straight up put Leiter or Rocker in the minor leagues. At least when rosters expand in September, both those guys, if they are healthy, then they are going to be maybe moved to a just deadly late inning reliever. And you imagine those guys with the stuff they've got. If they are coming out of the Rangers pen, you're supplementing that. That is finally the absolute gas that the rest of this pen does not have, but has still pitched well enough. John Gray, he is going to throw again on Sunday. He is going to throw 3 innings. Josh Sborz, he threw a live BP on Tuesday, and he will either start a rehab assignment or throw another live BP. He's traveling with the team to Houston. The Rangers have not decided yet what that is going to look like. Hopefully, Josh Sborz can come back to this pen, and the Rangers will maybe look at trading off Luke Jackson to see if anybody wants to, or maybe they'll just end up cutting bait with him. Maybe he will move into that pen, and the Rangers will put Dane Dunning back down to the minor leagues. I'm not entirely sure what it will look like, but Josh Sborz, I think, will be in this pen hopefully by the end of this month. I'm not entirely sure when he is going to come back. If he starts a rehab assignment, I don't think it'll take that long for Sborz to get himself back and ready. It depends on what the velocity looks like. It depends on what the command looks like. But this is another high leverage, nasty reliever. I mean, in terms of the guys that are in this pen right now, I think that Josh Sborz probably has the nastiest stuff. He probably has the highest average four-seam fastball velocity of any of these guys. He's definitely got the nastiest breaking ball of anybody that's in this pen outside of Hobie Milner. That sweeper is just downright disgusting and so incredibly hard to see, and it looks so weird. So I'm very much looking forward to Josh Sborz being back as a part of this team. He was such an important part of that Rangers postseason run, and maybe pitching in these high leverage spots in a high leverage, pennant chase will get Josh Sborz to be back to the best version of himself. The last injury update the Rangers got was about Jock Peterson. He is still 2 to 3 weeks away from taking batting practice. So that means maybe August is when we're going to see him. I think at the earliest, maybe it'll be mid-August. Maybe all this time off will just really help Jock Peterson reset, and he can come back to a lineup that is absolutely raking, and there will be a lot less pressure on Jock Peterson to be the one who saves this Rangers offense. I really just think a lot of this offensive resurgence has kind of come down to Corey Seager being Corey Seager again, and everyone else can just take a breath, take a step back, and relax, and not have to think, oh, I've got to save this team. With Semien and Seager back to the average version of the back of their baseball card, with Seager the last couple of weeks being, the best version of himself, and same with Semien for the last month and a half. With those guys just figuring it out and getting back to the average version of themselves, I think it takes so much less pressure off of everybody in this lineup. They can just relax. They can just take a breath, just unclench their butt cheeks, and just have normal at bats. And I think that really is just such a powerful offensive stimulant of just, oh, your best guys are just hitting like your best guys. And so everybody else can just kind of breathe deep and relax into the role that they play best. And with those two being who they are, and Josh Smith being who he is, which is an incredible hitter, and everybody else in this lineup just kind of taking that deep breath, having some better clutch at bats, and carrying this pitching staff for the first time this season, this team seems like a team that is in a very good place for a series against those stinking Houston Astros. Coming up, we'll talk about a little bit about that and look ahead at this 2025 MLB draft. Hopefully the last time the Rangers are drafting this high for quite some time. We're talking about who they could pick and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Gametime. You ever decided at the last minute to go to a ball game with friends and family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without all that stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group with you. Gametime makes it all possible. Gametime makes buying tickets so fast and so simple. The prices on the app actually drop closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes all that worry out of buying. So Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, and it makes it so easy. Go check out the app. There's so many games upcoming. The Rangers have a big homestand after this All-Star break. Some good games against the Braves late on in this month, against the Tigers early on this month. Also a series against the A's, who are terrible. If you want to go see some wins, that is a great series to go check out. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app to create an account and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Shout out to everybody making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day after every single game. Check out the Locked On Rangers postcast with Jeff Biggs coming to you after every single game. A long, late week for Jeff. Go check out all those shows this weekend. This series against the Houston Astros is going to be some great postcasts in your Locked On Rangers podcast feed on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, the Rangers have a big series coming up against these stinking Houston Astros, who have been, quite unfortunately, the best team in baseball since the calendar turned to May. They have just been winning and winning and winning and winning. And even when the Rangers have had their little spurts over the last month and a half or so, basically since June, when they've had their little spurts of getting close. Oh, the Rangers are doing well. The Astros just continue to pound that lead. But the Rangers, after last night, are now just 9.5 back in the AL West. Whoa, look out. A sweep gets the Rangers to just 6.5 games back at the All-Star break. But the Rangers are all the way at 9.5 games back because the Houston Astros are on a 3-game losing streak. They just got swept by the Cleveland Guardians. And the way this Astros team has been winning has been confusing. Because you'd think, okay, well, they just traded away Kyle Tucker. They just lost a lot in terms of their pitching staff. They just lost Justin Verlander. They have lost a whole lot to injuries. Surely everyone pitching has been terrible this year. No, not the case. Hunter Brown has just been one of, if not the best starting pitchers in all of baseball this season. His ERA has ballooned from below 2 all the way up to 2.21 at this point. Annoyingly, Framber Valdez has been exceptional. He's got a couple of complete games on the season. He's got 115 innings pitched. He has been pitching like a workhorse. He's got a sub-3 ERA. You look below that, there's not a whole lot in terms of the starting pitching. It's just been kind of fine. I mean, Ronald Blanco pitched 9 games. He is out for, I believe, the season. The Astros have so many pitchers on the 60-day IL. 6 different pitchers on the 60-day IL, including Christian Javier, Ronald Blanco, Pedro Leon, Hayden Wisniewski, JP France, Spencer Arrighetti, Luis Garcia. I mean, just so many injuries. And unfortunately, they've just been able to hit like crazy. Cam Smith, who was off to a kind of slow start to his rookie season, he has been absolutely burgeoning as of late. Somehow Jake Myers, who has been a terrible hitter for his entire career, is now hitting 308. Doesn't make any sense. Jeremy Pena has been basically an MVP level player at this point in the season, if not for the likes of Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. He's got a 4.6 baseball reference for. The Rangers won't see him in this series. He is on the 10-day IL. And Jordan Alvarez has been missing and bad this year. 29 games from this year, a 646 OPS. He has had a bunch of different injuries that the Astros have not handled particularly well. Christian Walker has been mostly terrible on the season. He's been on fire as of late, but a rough start to him out there. Brandon Rogers is also injured, so we will not see him in this series. And Jose Altuve is playing left field, and unfortunately, he's still hitting. So this is going to be a tough series. The Rangers pitching matchups for this series: Jack Leiter versus Lance McCullers Jr. on Friday night. On Saturday night, Jacob deGrom versus Framber Valdez. That is going to be an absolute banger of a pitching matchup. And then in the final game before this all-star break, Nathan Eovaldi versus Hunter Brown. That is going to be, Saturday and Sunday, just truly exceptional starting pitching matchups. And this is going to be a tough game, tough weekend for this Rangers team that has not done well on the road and has not done well against teams above 500. This is both of those things in this series, and it is going to be huge for this Rangers team. If the Rangers could take 2 out of 3, heck, if they could take all 3 games, they will be above 500 for the first time since, I believe, June. Maybe it was in May. It was the last time this team was above 500, but they have been scrapping and battling right around 500. And if they can just take 2 out of 3, if they could have taken one more and against the Angels and taken 2 out of 3 in this series against Houston Astros, then they would go into the All-Star break above 500. Alas, they could not do that, but that is not the only thing happening this weekend. The MLB Draft is happening this weekend. The Rangers have the 12th pick in this draft, and there are quite a few names you need to keep an eye on. The main of which, who has been mocked to the Rangers right now, he is listed as the 9th best prospect in this draft, according to MLB Pipeline. That is Mississippi high school twin shortstop JoJo Parker. His brother, I believe, I can't remember his last name or his first name. His last name is Parker. He is an outfielder who is also mocked to go early in this draft, not nearly as early as JoJo Parker. Parker is a shortstop who has got a lot of tools. He is kind of a well-rounded, hit-first kind of a player. The Rangers have been mocked to him quite a bit. There's been a lot of buzz that they are very, very high on this kid. He is someone to keep an eye on. I think if he's there when the Rangers pick at 12, the Rangers will absolutely take him. But he might not be there when the Rangers get all the way to 12. There are a couple other guys who are interesting. The Rangers will be keeping an eye on. Ike Irish, if you're looking for a college bat, he is an outfielder / catcher at Auburn. He has been one of the best college hitters in all of baseball this season. He has been pretty darn good. I don't know if he'll actually end up sticking behind the dish at catcher. The Rangers already have Malcolm Moore, who was their first-round pick last year, who is a catcher. He's not been hitting particularly well since he's come off the IL with a broken, I believe, pinky, a broken finger. He's been hitting okay overall in the season, had a great first month, but that injury has really slowed him down this year. But mainly this draft is very, very rich in high school shortstops. So that is probably what you should prepare yourself for the Rangers to draft. There are so many different high school shortstops early on mocked in this draft. Ethan Holiday is almost assuredly going first overall. He is the brother of Jackson Holiday, also the son of Matt Holiday, former MLB All-Star. In the top 10, there are also some interesting pitchers, a couple of lefties, one out of Florida State. That's Jamie Arnold. Kate Anderson is definitely going to be off the board before the Rangers get there. But there are some other guys a little bit lower in this draft and all the way up and down. I think Steele Hall, he is another high school shortstop from the Southeast. He is from Hewitt-Trussville, Alabama. Also Daniel Pierce, another high school shortstop. I mean, those guys are mocked at 12 or ranked at 12 and 13 in terms of their prospect status in this upcoming draft. Casey Cunningham, who is from Johnson, Texas, he is another high school shortstop in this class, and that's kind of a little bit where things tail off. In terms of just college pitchers who the Rangers could be drafting, you look at guys like Kyson Witherspoon, who's a right-handed pitcher out of Oklahoma. He has been pretty solid. He's 20 years old, listed at 6'2", got a big fastball, a big slider, a decent cutter and slider as well, and curveball. He has just been pretty solid overall. The control command is not particularly great, but we'll see what the Rangers could do there if he ends up falling all the way to them. Look at another guy who is a really interesting kind of controversial pick. He's ranked the 8th best prospect in this draft. That is left-handed pitcher out of Tennessee, Liam Doyle. He pitched at Coastal Carolina, and he was pretty darn good as a freshman in 2023. He was at Ole Miss last spring, and then this year he was at Tennessee. His fastball was in the low 90s. Now it's all the way up into the mid 90s, touching all the way at 100. The slider is also pretty good. Cutter, splitter is also fine. He has a little bit of trouble with staying healthy. There are some concerns because he throws max effort, but you got a lefty who's throwing 100 and he's got decent breaking stuff and he fills up the strike zone. That's a guy who I would be very, very excited for the Rangers to go and draft. He is mocked at 8th out of Tennessee. Those are the 2 college pitchers that I think the Rangers would have any thoughts on. And then one guy who's a little bit lower on the board last year, heading into this draft, he was thought of as maybe one of the top picks in this draft. He is a Texas boy via transplant. He has been hitting at Texas A&M University. For all you Aggies out there, that's Jace Loviette. He is a 21-year-old outfielder, left-handed hitter, left-handed thrower as well, listed at 6'6" and 230. He has got as much raw pop as anybody in this draft. He's a really good athlete as well. Pretty fast, decent defender out there in a corner outfield spot. I don't foresee him moving to a center field spot, especially with the guys who the Rangers have in their system that could play the center field spot, including Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter, who are going to be here hopefully for a long, long time. But Loviette was projected to be maybe a top 3, top 5, number 1 pick in this draft. But the issue with him is that swing and miss, is the batting average. The swing and miss at fastballs in the zone, particularly. If the Rangers aren't scared of that, he's got a big old swing. He's got good swing decisions as well. He's got incredible raw power. But when you swing and miss that much, and especially when you swing and miss at fastballs in the zone at that level, it's definitely a red flag. If the Rangers want to take a big swing on a guy with a big swing, I think that could be a very, very interesting pick, a guy with a very high upside. But I think it's more likely they end up going with one of these high school shortstops. Again, when you're in the MLB draft, it is different from the NBA draft, from every other draft, except for hockey is maybe kind of similar. But it is such an interesting puzzle of allocating your bonus pool money, interestingly, allocating it, particularly well, taking, calculated risks and just drafting the best player available. These guys are at best going to be 2-3 years away. There is not a Wyatt Langford in this draft who the Rangers could draft at 12 who would be up in the major leagues the season after he's drafted. These guys will take a long time. You just got to take the guy who you think is the best available talent, fit, be thrown to heck. Just get somebody who is really darn good, because if you are continuing to be a World Series chasing postseason team for the next couple of years, there aren't going to be that many more high picks in drafts to come. So you better nail this one, or maybe take a couple of swings like they did in that draft with Kamar Rocker and Brock Porter, and who knows what they could end up doing on Sunday. But this is going to be a big weekend for the Rangers, the final series before this All-Star break that is so desperately needed. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank y'all so much for listening and subscribing, and until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.